invest in everything, but they don't do it over here. We're on. We've ordered our coffee. Do you like our mugs? You too can order a sweet and sour mug just by sending a letter to this program right here, and we'll send you one out. They don't cost much, and every dollar helps. We don't do shameless plugs here. You want to know what the letters are tonight? We've got a terrific lot of guests tonight as well. 2 newbies on the panel and some good issues. Here we go, over here. First one tonight. Why should millionaires have any more buy-in to our political process than the rest of us? It's an equal democracy, apparently. But money speaks, doesn't it? That's our first letter writer. Second one tonight. His mum tells him she's no good. He's already engaged. She's a lovely girl, apparently. But the mum, who's always a great judge of character, says it's not going to work and you're not going to be happy. What does he do? And the last letter tonight, quotas for women in Parliament. Yes or no? We'll see what the panel have got to say. Don't go away. Sweet and sour starting right now.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
I did it.
Thank you, audience. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Gary Mitchell with you for the next fun-filled half hour and a terrific load of panellists tonight. First up, my mate Kane's here. Hello, Mr. Boyatzis.
Howdy, howdy.
Nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you.
We don't see a lot of you anymore. How come?
Just like ships in the night, man.
Ships in the...
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to get you on here more often.
Yeah.
All right, all well?
All well. Busy?
Busy?
Productively busy.
Alexia, are you... I called you Alexia, didn't I?
You did it.
It's Alexia. I've got relations who are Alexia. Won't do that. Hello, Alexia.
Hello,
nice to have you
Gary.
for the very first time, too.
I'm happy to be here.
Welcome. What do you do?
I'm a broadcasting student, second year, so that's how I know Yvonne.
You know, something tells me that there's a lot of broadcasting students and former broadcasting students here tonight. Hello, Yvonne.
Hello.
Not speaking of anyone in particular?
No, no
You're
one
a
in
graduate
particular.
now, right?
I am now a graduate, and I did the exact same degree that Alexia is now doing.
Fantastic. All right. Let's hope you don't have the same answers on every letter as Alexia as well.
I don't know, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe
We'll see. Hello, Pete. First time. Hello, my mate. Welcome to the show.
Yes, well, Gary, how are you?
Long time coming. Yes, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Looking forward to it.
Good on you. Now, you've got an interesting past career-wise as well, haven't you?
Oh, a little bit.
You're also a former broadcasting student.
Yeah, broadcasting student here at the studios from way back before the TV was invented. So yeah, look, and news and media. So
News, media,
yeah,
and
now a different flavour.
Working out of Canberra. We can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Have you seen the first letter?
No.
Well, I reckon the first and the third are right up your alley, so it'll be interesting to see what you've got to say. Here we go.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Hello, Mitch and panellists. So Rupert Murdoch and Kerry Stokes play chess with each other about who should be the Australian Prime Minister, and ultimately the domino falls and we have ScoMo in the box seat. Does anyone in this country feel the same as me in that these 2 billionaires, or any millionaires for that matter, have no place meddling in our body politic at all, except on an equal footing as the rest of us at election time or in the office of their local representative? They've both done exceptionally well, and that's good for them, but how dare they try and extend their control over our collective resources by sheer force of monetary power and influence? When did our Australian democracy become the plaything of the corporate megalomaniacs, and it obviously has now become? When Kerry Packer was alive, anyone interacting with him and subsequently purchasing shares was instantly guilty of insider trading. Surely the panel agrees that we need to have similar laws to prevent the influence of millionaires and their lobbyists in our political system. What's the point of elections if it's always going to be Rupert's call? For heaven's sake, he's not even an Australian citizen anymore, and it comes to us from Barry of Mickleham in... Is that Mickleham? Mickleham in Victoria. Well, you know where you come from, Barry. OK. Yvonne?
Yes.
What do you think about people with piles of money having more influence than the rest of us?
I think it is really totally unfair. I think that it's not true democracy in terms of, well, I was thinking about this, and I really think that in order to have a true and good democracy, the people who live in that particular area need to have informed opinions on what they're actually voting on. But if there are incredibly wealthy people who can manipulate and change those people's opinions and try to sway their own perceptions of the world in order to get votes in their own way,
As media barons can do.
I mean, it's kind of been proven that they have done. I don't think that that's fair in any way whatsoever. And I think that it's really sad that a lot of the time they're working in their own best interests rather than in the best interest of the people that live within that country. So, for example, I was reading an article today about how Kerry Stokes really doesn't want Bill Shorten becoming Prime Minister because he's worried about, I think he's got some money in mining, is that right? I'm not too sure. And so he's really concerned about that. So it's not fair and it's not real democracy.
Question is, what can we do about it? I don't know. Pete,
I don't know.
Have you got any views on this?
Look, I kind of get what you're saying, but I think this horse bolted years ago. It's no surprise that the media shapes and influences the way we think and the way we see things. This has been happening for eons, for decades, since the advent of advertising. You ever watched Mad Men lately? I mean, there's your history lesson about the influence of media. I think there's something else called Facebook and Google, and they're competing with the papers, with radio, with television. And right now the papers, they're floundering. They want to sell papers, so they have to push a certain agenda. It's been happening. You may not like it, Barry. You may not like it, Yvonne, but it's been happening. And as a journo waiting in the wings, you are going to be forced out there when you're reporting on news, and you are going to have an inherent angle on the story of the day. So look, I agree with you in the sense that yes, democracy is under siege in this country, but there's not a lot you're going to do about it. You vote with your feet come election day. If you don't like the major parties, the Labor Party, the Liberal Party, the tired old parties, vote for the minor parties so they can have the balance of power in the Senate, in the House of Reps, and lobby your local MP. If you're not happy with what's going on, speak to your state member, speak to your local council, speak to your federal MP. That's where the real work gets done.
Smaller parties, vote for the independents. Kane?
Well, I was looking at the media angle of this a bit more, and I thought, one thing the younger generation are doing more often is they're looking for direct contact with politicians through Twitter and social media accounts. That doesn't mean politicians are always that great at managing that space, and maybe they need to work that out, or they, palm that off to a team of, media personnel and they're not personal enough with those messages. But yeah, I don't know, it's a responsibility of us as citizens to try and look around biased media, try and find direct lines to our pollies, and perhaps even if we do that, don't just follow the pollies that you already agree with or that you're voting for. Yep. Link in with accounts for other politicians that disagree so you can hear the other voice.
Go with the controversial ones.
Go with the controversial
ones.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I think at this time of the world's history, individuals have never been more potent. And collectively, the voice that we collectively have has never been stronger. Social media is one of those things. Yet we abrogate our responsibilities and say, oh, we can't do it. But those people who know that we can are manipulating it. All the Facebooks and, the social media, the people who can steer those things know that our voice, they're all shit scared of us. The pollies are shit scared of our thoughts.
We all have an opinion.
And, we're very potent at the moment. How do you see it as a young person?
As a very naive view, I think, first of all, money is power. And second of all, I disagree with the fact of, speak to your smaller people, speak to those people because they won't respond, I don't think. Especially if you're a smaller person. I don't know, I think that money's always going to be power, but absolutely have your say. Everyone's got your own. And controversial, hell yeah, be controversial. Have the controversial say.
We asked you people at home to answer this question for us. Should legislation be enacted to prevent billionaires and their lobbyists from exerting influence and bias over our political system? Here's what you said. Well, what do you reckon? When you phrase a question like that? Of course, 93% said yes. We don't want the billionaires having any more say than we do. When we come back, we're going to be talking, we're changing topics, about a mum who doesn't like her son's fiancé. Why? Well, who knows? But she's a very good judge of character. More of Sweet and Sour when we come back. Don't go away. What do you do if your mum says, no, I don't like this one?
It's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some?
Here we go. And welcome back to Sweet and Sour segment 2. And if you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now. Any one of these social media points is good enough to have it land here on the desk. And if we like it and we read it out, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And we're not going to send you to any particular movie this week. We're going to send you, courtesy of Palace Cinema, to any one of their cinemas right around Australia. There we go. We're sending you some movie tickets instead you can make the decision what you want to see at the Palace. And here we go. Mama Don't Like Me. Hi, Sweet and Sour. My mum is a fantastic judge of character. And that's a problem for me because just like the Justin Bieber song, My Mama Don't Like the Girl, my mama don't like the girl I've just asked to be my wife. I'm the youngest of 3 kids. There it is, Pete. The youngest of 3 kids again in our family. And my other siblings married without a blink from either of my parents and with their blessings. There's no reason for me to be treated differently other than a sincere belief by my mum that my fiancé is bad news for me. Mum's always been pretty spot on in the past with telling me and all my siblings which of our friends or work colleagues would turn sour on us in some manner. Yet, even so, she never told me or any of us what to do despite telling of her intuition. On this occasion, she's telling me straight that I will never be happy with this woman. My dad rolls his eyes. Surely she can be wrong some of the time, and I'm hoping this is one of them. But I am worried because of her pronouncement. Don't get me wrong, Mum is terrific to my fiancé whenever she visits with me, and my fiancé has even asked Mum to help out with some of the decisions around the wedding. It doesn't alter Mum's feelings, however, that my fiancé is simply a wrong fit for me. Suggestions, please, as I'm planning to be married in 11 months, and it comes to us from Calvin right here in WA in Floriat. First up, Kane.
Oh.
Go on, put your professional hat on here.
I'm gonna put my foot down here. I think Calvin's mum is just too wishy-washy, too vague. Is she a tarot reader? What's going on? I think, you know, people have got to live their own lives. We pick partners that we, you know, feel are good fits for us. That might change in future. You're allowed to change your mind on that. You know, you can't predict the future. This whole perfect intuition BS that, you know, he's feeling his mum's got, I just call that out for a start. And number 2, like, you know, it's pretty passive aggressive for your mum to pull out and not give you any reasoning.
It's very passive aggressive, isn't it?
That's the nature of a mum, though, isn't it?
And not going to give any reasoning. You know, I'd say hold her feet to the fire, ask her for justifications behind this belief, hash it out with your fiancé and your mum in the same room. If that's useful information, cool. If it's not useful, she's not willing to come forward, live your own life, mate. That's all I can say.
Live your own life.
Yeah.
So what if it doesn't work out? Welcome to life. You know, you wouldn't be the first bloke where it's fallen over. Alexia, what do you say?
First of all, don't hash it out. I think that's more problem. I think that's more problems.
Don't hash it out with your mum.
Or the fiancé in the same room.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, maybe just let it go, see how it pans out.
Let it go.
But I think what stood out to me was the fact that the mum is still nice to the fiancé. Like, she's not nasty to her. So it's obviously not a problem with the fiancé. It's more that she's not a fit for the son. Maybe it's a jealous mum.
Maybe it's a jealous mum.
I also think that obviously if he's questioning it, he's obviously got some doubt himself.
Ooh, he's getting married in 11 months.
Yeah, he's writing in. I think he's got some doubt. I think he needs to think about what he actually wants.
Maybe his mum's planted the seed of doubt.
Yeah, maybe his mum's got into his head a bit too much.
And that's what you do, isn't it? You
But
plant
do
the
trust
seed,
mum.
and then you keep watering it. Oh. All right, Yvonne.
Yes. I always trust my mum's opinion. My mum is also a good judge of
Has your
character.
mum ever said to you, get rid of that bloke, though?
No, she's never said, as we discussed in the break, she's never actually said to me, get rid of this guy. But I can tell if I'm in a relationship with a guy whether she actually likes him or not, like based on how engaged she is with him. And then quite often afterwards, we've broken up. And she said, yeah, I'm really glad that happened because I didn't actually
Maybe
think you guys were a good fit. Yeah.
No, I've had that happen. My mum's good like that too. She doesn't say anything until afterwards. Or if she really likes someone, she tells you before. Oh, she's lovely. Oh, she's really lovely.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think...
Listen to your mum.
Well, yes, but
Ooh.
also I think that you need to make your own decisions and make your own problems. Like, if it's not going to work out, if his mum says it isn't going to work out with the girlfriend, like, he's probably still going to love her and want to marry her anyway, even if there is that seed of doubt. Let him do it. If it doesn't work out... I mean, the divorce rates at the moment are 1 in 3 at the moment anyway. You're probably likely to get divorced
1 in 2.
anyway. 1 in 2.
Who's counting?
Doesn't matter.
Who's counting? If you get a good one, you become happy. If you get a bad one, you become a philosopher. Pete?
Look, I think in one respect, Mama knows best. But I've got to ask, is your mum ethnic or European? Because she sounds like she's smothering you a bit. But by the same token, you know, she's clothed you, fed you, raised you, sheltered you for your whole life. So she probably knows this guy.
She knows you.
Knows you inside out, probably knows you better than you know yourself, perhaps. But if it's really playing on your mind and you're 11 months away from getting hitched, Calvin, sit mum down, take her out for breakfast, take her out for coffee and say, righto, mum, what is the issue? I would have it out. Confront her, get her to spell it out for you.
Put up or shut up.
Yeah, put up or shut up. Otherwise, see you at the wedding.
See you at the wedding. And you're welcome to help organise it as well. And pay for it, I suppose. I wonder if that's part of the ploy. Anyway, we asked you people at home to answer this question for us. Is it important that parents have a good relationship with their children's spouses? And here's what you said. Yep, 94% said yes. Only 6% said no. What do you all think? Yes? No? Is it important?
Doesn't have a good relationship with their parents to start with.
But relationships are dynamic. You have your ups
But
and
yeah,
downs.
it's important.
Yeah.
It's important for parents to have a good relationship with your wife or husband. It's
They're
very
your
important.
family.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about quotas for women in Parliament. Don't go away. Oh, Peter's already going.
I feel like we're going to have a fight.
I've got my gloves.
I brought my knuckle dusters.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
If you sitch and you need to have a bitch, then send it in to Mitch. He'll sort you out, sweet and sour.
Last letter of the evening, straight into it. Hello, panellists. I'm not for quotas. How demeaning to all women that the issue is even discussed as a credible approach to balancing up the gender numbers in our parliament. If a woman can't cut it, she shouldn't be in the thick of it. How would a woman expect to manage once she's in the parliament if she's been pre-selected on the basis of her gender? It's not going to work. Can you imagine the accusations of bullying that would fly simply because we promoted women into the parliament beyond their competence and skill levels? No, pre-selection for parliament should always be on the basis of ability and merit, not gender. In time, the numbers between the genders will naturally balance up in the parliaments around Australia. It's only been a little over 4 decades since the International Year of the Woman in 1975. Rome was not built in a day, and we run the risk of diminishing our parliaments by yielding to the will of women who want an easy entry into parliament. What are the views of your panellists, please? And it comes to us from a lady by the name of Alicia in Burnside in South Australia. Pete, straight to you.
Well, Alicia, I think you've spoken some pretty good truths there. I agree. We shouldn't have quotas. We don't need quotas. Whether it be in jobs, in Parliament, the best man or the best woman should be fit for should get the job. That's my view. That's my belief. I think if we start making, start compensating and start making excuses for people to have an easier ride, it doesn't benefit anyone.
Pete, I agree with you.
In this day and age, we've got.
It should be ability and merit. But guess what? It's just a numbers game.
It is a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. It's not based on ability or merit.
No, but why are we trying to prop up the numbers by trying to...
Because you should have equal representation. Goodness me. And women are coming into this very late. No bloke's going to give it up. There are very few blokes who are going to say, yeah, we've got to balance this up. They're as aggressive as all shit. Alpha males will do their best to exclude women. God, we've seen that over the last month, 2 months in our parliament.
Julia Gillard's
I think we should have
speech.
quotas.
Oh God, it's amazing. Yeah.
I just think the best man, the best person should be fit for
Agreed,
the job.
but we
for the
haven't
job.
got a
It
system
should-
that promotes
No,
that.
we don't.
Yeah,
Not yet.
but hang on. So if that means if you've got quotas in, it means that, you know, for any competent male that could have got in, it means they've got to give up their place for that female. How does that feel?
There's a whole lot of competent males and there's just a small number of seats in Parliament. Too bad. Queue up and do your job, but we've got to get 50% of women in there first.
Can I just say as well, in terms
We've
of
got some
competency,
talented... Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that one of the best quotes that I have ever heard was it was by this woman who was a panellist on the Gruen transfer. I can't even remember what her name is, Jill something. And she said to me, "We will never have true gender equality until there are as many mediocre women in positions of power as there are mediocre men."
What a shame.
Well,
Mediocrity.
everyone's got an opinion.
All right, we're going to go to see what you people at home said when we asked you the question, do you support the idea of a quota system to increase the representation of women in our Australian parliaments? Not so. There it is. Have a look. 60% said yes, 40% said no. But there's a presumption there that it's based on merit and talent, but it's not. It's based on law of the jungle at the moment. If you've got more numbers, you can get in. Okay, where are we? Who's there? Letter 3. We're going to Alexia.
Yeah. I agree with Pete. If you're for the job, you're for the job. But I also agree that women have this glass ceiling above their head that we're going to crack one day, but we've got to get there. But I think...
Why wouldn't you
I
get there
think-
tomorrow by having a quota system?
Because we're not going to. We're just not going to.
Because we're not going to.
No, it's
You're
not
not
gonna
going to
happen.
with that attitude.
Well, we can only try, can't we? But I think...
Yeah,
like Pete said,
absolutely you can try.
if I can do the job and you can do the job and I do it better, vote me in. But I think that it's going to come down to a male or, you know what, even just the general public being able to notice that and being able to see that just because she's a woman doesn't make her any less for the job than the male who she's right up against.
Beautifully spoken.
Last word. Come on, Kane.
See, but I think, I don't know, the competency of our politicians at the moment is all up in shambles, right? It's all over the place. And what is the selection criteria? I mean, we were talking about power and influence, upper
The
class.
jungle.
Upper class, wealthy.
The zoo.
Wealthy.
The zoo.
Like, I mean,
Quota
you know,
system for women. I'm for it.
I don't think it should be legislated, but I think it should perhaps be a voluntary encouragement for political parties to do this.
Well, the ALP have done it.
And that's good, and that should be, if it works and it's encouraging, it'll be like a popular standpoint. The people get behind it, they vote behind it.
The Liberal Party haven't done it, yet they're the ones at the moment who are having internal players, women, say that there's a whole lot of bullying going on and all that sort
I
of
think
thing.
they've taken that too far.
But
might I add.
there's also tons of bias in how we appraise who's competent for a job. We think we're evaluating them consciously on their merits, but we're not even doing that a lot of the time. Our stereotypes come in. We've got things like the halo effect. You'll tend to, like someone who's more attractive to you and think that they're doing a wonderful job because they're attractive. You don't even know you're realising that.
Yeah. Halo effect.
Oh, yeah.
That cultural shift in the Liberal Party, Gaz, that you said, those women in the Liberal Party who are now claiming Me Too and bullying, what were they saying all those years ago when they were in
That's right, Pete.
They've
Yeah,
only
I
come
just think
out-
they've
That's
taken it
right.
too far.
I agree.
You know,
Sometimes
so
you might
it's-
not be the best
if
for
it's
the
good
job.
for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Pete, say good night, mate, because we've got to go.
Kalinichta.
Kalinichta. Good night, Yvonne.
Good night.
Good night, darling. Good night, Alexia.
Good night.
Good night, Kane.
Good night, everyone.
Thank all of our terrific guests. Thanks to our terrific crew. And thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. This is where you wave. Good night, everyone.
No clapping, just waving.
No clapping, just waving. That's it. My hand's sore. Do you remember the Beverly Hillbillies? Are you too young for that? Were they-